All right. Hello, hello, everyone. How are you all? Let me go ahead and stop my screen share. There we go. Beautiful. How are you all? Where is everyone watching from? Is anyone in the US, United States? Happy Independence Week? Why aren't you at your cabin, right? No, I'm just kidding. Minneapolis, get out. Hi, neighbor. We've got West Palm. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm gonna have to send Paul for another cup of coffee. West Palm. We've got Texas, fantastic. Netherlands, South Africa, Poland. Oh my gosh, I'm almost half, well, actually a little over half Polish by heritage. That's so cool. Trinidad and Tobago. We've got Germany via the US. Are you guys ready for today? Can I actually, who here has known me for at least a little bit? I'm Rachel, by the way, and hi, Chris, neighbor. Who here has known me at least for a little bit? So you're like, I'm familiar with like how you teach and how you show up and stuff. Are you guys cool if we do something a little bit different today? I experienced something really weird when I was preparing for this, and it was this a resistance that wasn't like the kind you need to push through. It was the kind of resistance that felt like an iron wall in front of you. And I was like, what is this? Oh, hey, Preston. So I felt this and I was like, why does this keep coming up? So I was talking to Paul and I was talking to my team and I was like, what is this like iron wall in front of me? And why am I not able to finish the slides or the workbook for this? And I sat and thought about it and I ended up like meditating for a little bit because I was like, what the heck? This doesn't normally happen. I can push through most of the time, but I'm like stopped. And I just felt this like calm voice that said, people are sick and tired of being talked at. Feel free to tell me if that's true. People are sick and tired of constant pre-planned, super orchestrated, overly polished, 50,000 slides, everything leading up to a pitch. And I don't want to do that today. Are you guys cool with that? So literally this length, in case anyone's wondering how many slides go into something like an intensive, normally an intensive is somewhere between 100 and 500 slides, which is totally fine. I'm used to it. It's a lot. I had one 2-day event that was 1,400 slides and it still wasn't enough. It was the weirdest thing. So I was like on slide 43, and I was like, I'm going to stop at slide 43. And what we're going to do today, if you're cool with this, is like workshopping. And I'm actually going to share my screen and show you tutorials of exactly how I do all of these things. I've never taught passive income outside of like Click and Syndicate. Those are my group coaching program and my mastermind. I've never really taught this. So this is my first time teaching it to people who aren't in my programs. So are you guys cool with that? I love a good slide. I love a good diagram, but I was like, let's actually have more discussion through this because truth be told, this is actually the essence of what passive income is about. Feel free to write that down. One thing I do ask, I wish I had turned this to a Zoom room instead of a webinar because I wish I could see your faces. But if something I share resonates or unlocks like a light bulb idea for you, or clicks or connects, or reminds you of something that you once knew but forgot, drop AHA in the chat. AHA. Can you guys test that real fast for me? Thank you. So just do that all throughout. You can be obnoxious with it. I'm totally fine. So, okay, beautiful. So I wanted to share this because this is the essence of what passive income is about. And we're going to dive into 43 slides, so it'll just be a couple minutes there, but we're going to do workshops together. We're still going to touch on absolutely everything, how to turn your existing knowledge into passive income offers that you can always sell on demand. My digital garage sale, there's a funny story behind that. When I made 25K in profit while I was on vacation in Alaska, true story, I have the receipts to prove it. Why passive income isn't like this mystery or a magical thing or like a unicorn or a mermaid or something. It's like actually just a system. It's systematic leverage and the exact structure of how to create these high converting passive income offers. And I'm going to show you guys, I'm going to take you behind the scenes. I have some of it on my slides, but I'm like, I'm just going to show you. Cool. Let's do this. I'll turn what we end up doing into a workbook. Does that sound good? But you're going to be workshopping a lot today. Is that cool? So you're not going to leave here today and feel like I don't have I'm not any closer to my goal. Cool. That's my promise to you. You will be closer to your goal, just varying degrees of how close. So we will send out a replay as long as today goes well, as long as we don't like lose power or something. And then I'll turn it into a workbook. But I didn't want to come in with my preconceived notions of what you needed. Does that make sense? So ask your questions in the normal chat as we go, and we can go in the right directions based on what you guys need. Who's like, this is actually better than I even thought? Yay! I need income. I love that, right? I love that you know what you need, right? Okay, so let's dive in. Okay, I'm Rachel. Is anyone new to me? And thank you, by the way. I made those. I sewed and hot glued them together. So homemade from like old discount fabric I found, which is so cool. All right, some of you guys are new to me. So a few of these slides are important. Please write this down. Pre-frame. This one word changed everything for me. I'm very much so like a take things as they are, take people for who they say they are type of person. And so I didn't realize the importance of pre-framing until a few years ago. I spoke at Funnel Hacking Live, and we had this pre-event, a few of us that we hosted. And something really weird happened. The number one question that came in for me at that event was, who is Rachel Pedersen's dad? Who is Rachel Pedersen's husband? These are on the forms to attendees. Um, and like they were asking all of these questions about like who does she know? Who are her connections, etc. And it was during that time that I realized you've got to decide how am I going to present myself? How am I going to share to this group who I am? Does that make sense? If you don't pre-frame who you are, people naturally make assumptions because it's a part of human nature. So people assume your dad must have been rich or connected, or your husband makes bank. He does make bank trips for sure. Or they assume like that I grew up super rich or something like that. So I'm a huge fan of pre-framing. Do you guys are you getting that? You pre-frame. So what you're doing is you are setting the stage for this is who I am, or at least a portion of it. And this is how you can view me, the lens with which you can view me as we share. Okay, let's go for it. You're in the right place. Drop a yes if any of these are you. Number one, you're tired of trading time for money. You want leverage. Leverage is fantastic. As someone who has done, I think it's close to $5 million in client work is awesome and fantastic. It's also a lot of work, and I also am really grateful for leveraged income. Number two, if you have valuable knowledge but no clue how to package or sell it passively, drop a yes. I'm willing to bet that's actually a lot of you. And I think very, very fast you're going to get the aha you needed literally today, and then you're going to keep getting more. And number three, you've bought courses and you've joined programs and you've watched all the webinars and YouTube tutorials, and everything just felt like a setup for a pitch. And you're like, I still don't feel clear on how to turn my assets and my knowledge into cash. Cool. You guys are in the right place. I'm Rachel Pedersen. I've done some really cool things. I've worked with clients such as, you may have heard of a few of them, Dean Graciosi, and I brought Metricool or helped bring them to the United States, the social media scheduler. I trained Tony Robbins' social media team. It's kind of cool because 13 years ago, I was a single mom on welfare. I grew up in poverty. We're not going to get into that too much today. So everything was built with a lot of work. um, just cool things that have happened. But here's the thing. I'm Rachel Pedersen on a good day. I don't know if this will resonate for anyone, but I don't feel like that person that's on stages every day. I don't feel like the person who's like, oh, I'm some genius or mastermind, or I can come in and like blow everyone away. Anyone else resonate with this? There are good days. Good days, you go in, you knock everyone's socks off, you gain a client or passive income, but I don't feel that way. I don't want to be on every day. Drop a yes if this is you too. And so the thing is, I actually have bipolar type 1. I am stable today and medicated, but I share this because I experience this really big range. Every day is not the same. I experience really, really wonderful, addicting high highs. And I also experience these lows where I can barely get out of bed. It feels like my legs are made out of like lead. You know what I mean? So I share that because some of us need more consistency that doesn't rely on us having to show up every single day. Yeah? Anyone here? Cool, cool. For me, relying on just one-on-one clients and like the live launches, which can be so stressful every week, or like spending 50 or 100,000 or even 200,000 in ad spend per month, it just wasn't going to cut it anymore. And so I am really grateful to say that I was stranded in Alaska. Who's been wondering the story behind this? You may have seen it teased already. Okay, so we went to Alaska on a fishing trip with a bunch of Tucumã Club award winners. And side note, I don't love fishing for salmon. If anyone's ever done that before, it comes with a bat. I don't like it. It's not for me. But it was a really cool experience. And we were so ready to get home. We had just been on like a series of trips. I was so excited to get home and be with the kids. And then all of a sudden, we're at the airport and we found out that our flight was going to be delayed by several hours. And at first it was 2 hours, then it was 6 hours. So I started getting to work and I watched a lot of people like they were angry and they were like, this is such a setback. I'm so mad. And I was like, I don't know if I'm the only one, but I'm kind of grateful that they didn't let us fly on a broken plane. But what I thought was, this is time I would normally, note this, please, please, please. This is time I would normally just binge a show that I don't even care about. This is time that I would normally scroll on TikTok and not get anything done and end up kind of like comparing myself or feeling overwhelmed by et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I was like, there are so many things that I could do right now to distract myself from this unfortunate situation. Who's getting this aha already? Right? There are so many things I could do to distract or numb in this situation. However, what if I did something? What if I got resourceful? Please write that word down, resourceful. What if I got resourceful and dug through my archives, just in my Google Drive? What if I went and put together something and created and launched an offer from the airport? And I did. And it turns out our flight ended up being delayed for another day. So we were in Alaska a lot longer than planned. And within those 48 hours, that offer generated five figures. We did 25K in profit in the first week. And keep in mind, guys, this was 2018. My audience wasn't nearly where it was today. It was a tiny fraction of where it was today. Who's already getting some of the ahas you need? Because truth be told, my passive income products aren't built when I'm like in game mode and sitting there like, super manic. It's so fun. My passive income products are built when I'm sitting in bed next to Paul and we're binging some stupid reality show. My passive income products are built on the days where I'm experiencing depression. And I'll literally sit down and put on, a TV show and I'll binge it while I'm also putting these together. So then that way, creates, those days create opportunities to sustain income in the future, which is kind of cool. Everyone always tells you this part, by the way. Tell me if you think this is true. Everyone always shares this part, and then the rest of the training is like fluffy and more promises and only like that and testimonials and stuff. And then it's like, and if you want to know how to do any of it, buy my program. Guess what? I'm going to walk you through it. So, what's really cool though is that passive income offer generated over 150,000 in the first 2 years and 54,000. I just checked the stats this morning. I updated it. 54,000 over the last 4 months organically. Cool. So, question for you. Can you picture this? A year from now, you could have 10 plus passive income products making money or at least creating opportunities to make passive income while you live your life. They're out there. They're in a suite. They're on your site. They're in your link in bio. They're behind your lead magnets. Drop an aha if it's already clicking for you. Okay, let's simplify it. Passive income is not a mystery, you guys. It's just usually a digital product that you build once and sell it unlimited times. It's leverage. That's it. Simple, simple, simple. Cool? Okay. So, the very first thing I want you to do before we know the how, notice I said that before we know the how, and I'll show you the product in just a moment. Before you know the how and all of the steps that it's going to take, I want you to set your goal. Case in point, I've been living this recently. Paul and I are writing a fantasy fiction book. We know that it has to be 60, 80, 90, 100,000 words. You don't go into writing a book and be like, how is everything going to play out? You write and everything plays out as you go, but you start with the goal. I want to write a fantasy fiction book. So I want you guys to set a passive income goal. Make it a comfortable stretch. That might be 3,000 or 5,000 or 10,000. This is specifically from passive income products. Go ahead and share it in the chat if you would like. This is just your first goal, by the way. And with love, if you put 1 million here, I'm going to say, great. Have you already hit 100,000 from it? So don't do the really, really big yet. Set like a realistic goal that's a comfortable stretch, something that is not outside of the current realm of possibility, because a lot of passive income strategy comes from your ability to believe in what's possible for you. Does that make sense? Okay, beautiful. So you guys all have a goal, right? All right, so here's what you're going to learn today. Exactly what we talked about, what makes a passive income offer actually convert, how to build out your full suite, even with zero extra time, meaning who here's like, dude, I totally can use my binging time or my scrolling time and just replace this, get it done once, and then it can work for me forever. And the tools, systems, and structures I use. Plus, I'm going to share real examples and feel free to ask questions because I'll weave them on in and how you can do this today. Cool, cool, cool. Let's begin. Okay. First step, forget everything you've learned about passive income unless it's already working for you. Deal? I share this because a lot of teachings on passive income overcomplicate everything. And I'm all about clarity. So I'm like, let's just make it a clean slate. Cool. Only hold on to the pieces that have served you. But this is really big. If you say, well, so and so says to do it this way, okay, great, go follow their system. This is mine. Okay, cool. So passive income is always like sold like a dream or a fantasy, but no one talks about the front end system that makes it real. It's created from digital products with a strategy and system. And this is key. It allows you to sell 1 to 10,000, 100,000, 1 million copies without more work for fulfillment. Please write that down. Who got the aha? It's not passive income if you have more work for fulfillment. I'll talk to companies all the time and they'll say, "Oh, we have passive income products." And I'm like, "Okay, great. What is it?" They're like, "It's an audit, so it only takes an hour of our time." I'm like, "That's not passive income." Not even close. Cool? It's income that doesn't require you to show up one-on-one or deliver one-on-one. It doesn't require you to have live coaching in real time or anything in real time. All you have to do is put it into your ecosystem. And yes, I will explain what that means. It is not client work. That is not leveraged income. Can you please say aha if this is big? I love working with clients and I love my clients. I have like the coolest clients ever. However, that is not leveraged work unless I turn what I'm doing with clients into passive income. Wink, wink. Memberships or group coaching, those aren't passive income. Cool. Does this include evergreen videos and webinars? It can. And it's not a course that you deliver live. Cool, cool. All right, so here's my Alaskan passive income offer. So, question for you. Drop a yes or a no in the chat and tell me, have you created assets before? Now, you might say no at first if you don't know what they are. It was 9 years ago, I worked with a client, and she said, I have so many assets in my drive. And I was so embarrassed because I was like, what's an asset? And I didn't, my mind couldn't comprehend when she kept saying, I've got all these assets we can bundle into products. And I was like, what do you mean you have assets? And finally, I asked her, and she said, assets are simply frameworks or intellectual property, meaning the ways that you explain things, or trainings, or systems, or guides, or now the same question to you guys. Who here realized you have some assets? What blew my mind was how this expanded my ability to see assets everywhere. For example, if you've ever written a difficult email, drop a yes if you have, you actually have an asset. If you've ever had a tough conversation or had to set boundaries and you have it written somewhere, you have an asset. This is kind of cool, isn't it? Now, I didn't realize for a long time that all of these docs and trainings and systems and frameworks and plug and plays and templates, these were all assets that I can just bundle together. And here's the wild part. Are you ready? You probably have tons and tons and tons of assets that just need to be templatized, and it can happen so fast. Who's getting excited? Are you guys excited? Who already is like, okay, I'm starting to see the path already. If not, that's okay. So, my Alaskan passive income offer, I was like, okay, so I've run a lot of ads over the years. Who here's done a lot of something? Feel free to drop what it is in the chat. I was like, I've run a lot of ads over the years. And I totaled it up. I don't remember what the number was at that time, but I know I have it documented somewhere. I was like, I've run ads for coaching, and I've run ads for generating webinar leads, and I've run ads for high ticket sales. And I was like, what if, just what if I took all those ads and templatized them and shared examples, templates, and swipes? And they're simply Google Docs. I'll share this one more time. You'll want to watch this from the beginning. We're going to replace the workbook with workshopping in real time based on your guys' questions. Cool. And then I'll send out the replay with the workbook based on where we go. So we're going off the scripts today, guys. We're going off the rails, but don't worry, it's a fun shortcut. Who kind of loves this? Who's like, wait, that is actually so simple. It makes sense. And question for you, who here is like, I would love to see ads that generated millions of dollars in sales, or even hundreds of thousands, or even five figures. I would love to know what ads get clicks, right? It's so beautiful because it meets a need. That's all it is. I want to real fast get this out of your head because I know it was in my head for a long time. I felt like I had to try so hard to like be persuasive, and charming and say all the right things. And oh, this copywriter said we have to say this word and da, 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 da. It's so hard to be that choreographed. Truth be told, all you're doing is meeting needs. Cool. My daughter, my oldest daughter, Dakota, is almost 15, and she just auditioned for her third musical, and she got her third lead that she went for. Before she started doing musicals, I did theater in high school. That was my main activity, and it was so cool for me to learn way back when that it's actually not that hard to get roles because all you have to recognize is that the director has a need. They don't care what you look like. They don't care, well, for the most part, they don't care, not in theater. They don't care like if you have an accent or if you're able to mask an accent or whatever. They are just looking for the person to meet their need. Isn't that wild? It is so simple. It does hurt, but it's like this always helps. So I said, stop thinking I want them to like me. I want them to fall in love with me. I want, and just show up and meet the need. They have a need to fill a role, go meet it. And for whatever reason, that advice removed all of her nerves for all auditions. And now she just shows up and tries to be the best fit for the need. And I'm like, it's so simple. Who's getting the aha, right? And truth be told, this takes a lot of the stress out of selling. And don't you worry, we are going to talk about how to best work out needs. Cool. And I'm actually going to workshop it with you. Okay, so this helps a lot because I hate the feeling of like having to be overly salesy. I hate the feeling of trying to convince people or persuade people. I'm a big fan of like, here, this meets the need. It's that simple. It was the same way when I was a hairstylist. Selling product wasn't hard for me or selling upsells. I would have a client who would sit down and say, I really hate how short my hair is, or I really hate how thin my hair is. And I'd be like, have you tried extensions? It's not a hard sell when you meet someone's need for a pain point that is expressed or communicated or not. Okay. It needs to solve a specific pain point for a business or a customer. Go ahead and drop in the chat. I love how we're actually getting into psychology today because this actually simplifies everything. Um, you're either going to be with each passive product focusing on a business or a customer. So B2B, business to business, or B2C, business to consumer. If the consumer is a business owner or an entrepreneur and it's related to those topics, it's going to be B2B. So are you going to create one for business or consumer? It's okay if you say both too. Some people thrive in boxes, and I'm like, let's blow them up and dance right on out. Beautiful, gorgeous. And I know it's technically consumer. I always say customer because that's how I think of it, clients, customers, etc. Cool. All right, so we're going to actually dive into our first workshop. Drop a yes if you're like, I'm already actually liking this more than I thought I might. So cool. All right, let me stop sharing the slides for a moment. Isn't it wild? We're already almost at slide 43, and that is where we stopped there, which I'm stoked about. It was totally the right decision. Okay, so I'm going to walk you guys through something, and this is my process for identifying needs that are out there. It's one you've probably heard before, because I do teach the viral framework sometimes, but I use it differently for products. So let's just dive on into it. Cool. All right. So I use the viral framework. Who's familiar with it? The viral framework. I don't know why I named it that. I created it in 2017. Lori's like, oh, I just got on and missed 43 slides. You'll want to watch the first 29 minutes because there were some specific like ahas that might be really helpful, but it was more from what I was saying than the slides. Don't worry, I'm abandoning slides. Okay, so basically what you're going to do is get clear on what your overarching topic is. This is your umbrella for everything you're doing from your main platforms, okay? So this should be 1 to 3 words max. This is not a USP or a tagline. This is like, what do you do in 1 to 3 words? So go ahead and drop it in the chat and also write it down. So for me, if I were to get really umbrella about it, it's marketing. That's it. I love that. When you can get clear on what you do in 1 to 3 words, it's really helpful for others to kind of be like, oh, okay, I understand kind of the realm that you're operating in. Cool. These are so good, you guys. I love these. I love brain health. Ooh, amazing. Brain health specifically or mind health or both. I love these. Connection, bake and cook, amazing systems. Holy moly. Can I just say this is the first time I've done this training and I'm sitting here like I'm in a room talking to like doctors and geniuses and PhDs and people with masters. We're still going to learn, but wow, developing brain healthy patterns. I love that. Okay, so we've got our topic, right? Everyone good on it? Feel free to document it. You will want some type of notebook. Cool. All right. So within this, you have subtopics. And I'm going to share a few different ways to talk about these. If you've done this exercise before, or if this is really challenging for you, feel free to just do the first two or three. Cool. So if I'm in marketing, then I have subtopics within marketing that come up a lot, or that my products are offered based around, or different demographics or psychographics that I might want to reach. So maybe there's a whole subtopic about like introverts. Is anyone an introvert here? Couple people. It's actually kind of funny because when you ask introverts that, it's almost always like lowercase, almost always lowercase, unless they're like an INFJ or an ENFP or something. Um, versus when you ask the extroverts, who's extroverted, they're like, yeah, like, isn't that so fun? Okay, not always, but okay. So I might have one subtopic that is like content creation. I might have one that's all about generating leads. I might have one that's all about going viral. I might have one for brick and mortar. I might have one for specifically YouTube. Are you guys catching where this is going? So we've got one main topic, 12 subtopics. I want you to take a moment and at least do the first three. 5 minutes on the clock. Is that enough time for you guys? If not, simplify. Go even more simple. If I have an offer, like a course or a done for you service one-on-one clients, I might do ROI marketing because I want this to ultimately or potentially lead to referrals. Did you catch that? Some of you did. Referrals and client opportunities down the road. So you can build them around your deliverables, but these are the 12 kind of like best subtopics or best dividing blocks within your business. Cool. There will be a replay. There will be a replay. That was so awkward. Okay. Do you guys like this? Cool. Do you all accept? Feel free to take just a couple of minutes. I'm going to do 5 on the clock. 10:38 will get it going again. I'm going to grab one more cup of coffee because I don't know why. We had a little kid sleeping in our room last night, and for some reason I never sleep as well when the kids are there. So, okay, beautiful. 5 minutes on the clock. Feel free to drop it in the chat. Make sure to also document it for you. Cool. See you guys in 4 in the final minute. And these look so good. Feel free to do the rest too, because it can be really helpful. Sometimes it gets easier down the road. Okay, so like real fast, even just seeing that from Amy, I instantly am like, please, 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 please create passive income products because I'm an ancestry nerd. I love it. I use it. I would buy that in a heartbeat because I don't want to go and hire a bunch of genealogists. Did you guys catch that real fast? How powerful that is? What she just said about her, one of her topics is using ancestry, getting started in genealogy. Hold on, it just bumped up. Finding more stories and records. That speaks to your dream people. Isn't that cool? And I think I might be one of close to your dream avatar because I love it so much and I don't understand how to maximize it. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Do you see that? It's just meeting needs. All right, now we're going to show how to discover the specific needs and questions that people have. So this is the real process that I do. There's a way to expedite the process and there's a way to do it manually. I tend to be more manual. Okay. For this, you can have 14 subtopics. If you ever do the viral framework, you kind of want to try to do it at 12. Okay. So I like to do the manual process. So I'll share the manual, and then do you guys want the shortcutted system and process too? Because it is significantly faster. So I go into Facebook groups, Reddit threads, YouTube comments from competitors, and I look for the questions that people are asking. And people are always like, how do you do that faster? I'm like, you don't. Like studying humans in their natural habitat, you can go where more people congregate. However, I'm a big believer you can't be like, all right, I need 100 people to gather in this, this town square so I can observe how you naturally work. You don't speed this up. The manual process is deliberate. So I do it just anytime I'm thinking. I'm like, I wonder what people are wondering about this. So I'll find comments and questions and things that people upvoted. Drop aha in the chat. I know you guys are probably taking notes, but this one is it's so helpful. And the reason I like doing it that way is because I like to see people's how they say things in their own words. How they say things in their own words. Dana, hi. So I'm a huge fan of that process. Who's going to do that one? It's amazing. So I love the groups where there's a lot of people. Find the big groups that your audience congregates in. You're not going to promote in those groups. You're just going to search or browse or scroll or see what posts are getting traction because there are patterns and questions there. And then I'll literally copy and paste an exact line and then tweak it so it's not in that person's words. And then people are like, how are you in my head? And I'm like, because I've been studying. I researched to see like how are people communicating their needs. And it's actually beautifully human. Does that make sense? Can you use AI for this? Yes, and you will never get the same results because there is nuance in human emotion that cannot be replaced by AI. I'm a huge fan of AI. I love it. I use it every day. It's an amazing aid to me. However, there is something so beautiful about slowing down and write this one down and having the intention of how can I meet needs today? I want to learn what people's needs are. So there's this beautiful humanness that doesn't get lost when you do that process manually. Cool? Okay, let's go to the next one. So this is the fast process, but it still works. Um, I shared on Reddit, on YouTube videos, on the comments, on like my competitors or like people who are bigger than me, their comments, not their content, their comments, the questions that people are still asking, even once they share a tutorial. Okay, and then also big Facebook groups. So I personally dig in groups that are a little bit different than maybe Preston would, possibly. A lot of the groups I have are like mompreneur groups. Those are really helpful to me because it gives me the verbiage of the person with kids and it just instantly works. And I'm like, this is fantastic. I love being able to read like how other moms are feeling as they build their businesses. Cool. Okay, let's keep on going. When did we get 214 people on here? You guys, when we started, we were at 103. What? Hi, everyone. Okay. What? The day before 4th of July. So, you guys have probably heard of Answer the Public, right? If you haven't, this is really powerful. Do you guys know who everyone's best friend is? Where they confide their secrets? Most people will say their best friend, their therapist, their hairstylist. There's truth to that, by the way. I knew when couples were going to get a divorce before their spouse even knew. It was the weirdest thing. You learn so much. However, Google, some of you know, Google is the first place people go before they tell their hairstylist. So, for example, like when someone's like, "Oh, I might be going through perimenopause," which I am, so I get really bad hot flashes. I might be going through perimenopause. Before they tell anyone, the first thing to do is they go to Google and they say, "What are the signs of perimenopause?" Or "Why am I having hot flashes?" etc. Cool. So this is really cool because Answer the Public compiles all of the top most Googled questions about topics. Isn't this cool? Are you seeing where I'm going with this? I love this because you get to see the questions that are the most common that are coming up regularly. It does remove the nuance of the human touch, but this is a great way to get started or to speed up the process. But I do still recommend just get used to like reading. What are people asking? What are they wondering? Okay, so let's say I wanted to, you can see I do it like for my clients and all of that. Okay, so let's say I wanted to talk about any of my subtopics. Okay, I'm going to plug in content creation. Content creation. It takes a moment. You pick your country, you pick the language that you want to get results for. It just takes a moment and then it compiles all of it. Side note, this used to be 97 bucks a month. Neil Patel, I could like kiss the top of his head because he bought it and made it so it's 97 for life or like 9 bucks a month to use Answer the Public Unlimited. It is incredible. I'm so grateful to him. If anyone knows him, send along my love. Okay, so if we go on down, there aren't a ton of questions about content creation. Can content creation be a full-time job? How content creation works? What is content creation in social media? So I'm reading this and I'm like, oh, these are really beginner questions. So if I wanted to up level the style of questions I'm getting, I could just change the keywords. And usually they're going to be 1 to 3 words. You get 1 to 2 free searches per day per IP address on Answer the Public. So just know that. Okay, let's see what questions come up for content strategy. Okay, how to create a content strategy. Boom. Do you guys know real fast? Like several of my last few YouTube videos, the ones that I've been taking off in the background, that was the exact prompt I used. I thought my person needs to know how to create a content strategy. I'm going to show them. And boom, it starts taking off in the background. Drop aha if this is big. Who's already diving in? Who's getting some of the gold? You're like, this makes so much sense, right? Anyone love this? Right? You can also search for, if you know some of the pain points or symptoms, you can go into those. Isn't this cool? So I could go into, we could say low views. That's a symptom of not having a content strategy that's working. So now I can dive on in and be like, okay, views are low on YouTube. Why are views low on TikTok? What can cause low views on TikTok? How to fix low views, etc. The other thing that's really cool is you can see they rank it in here, which questions are highly searched for. Isn't that cool? So you can see highly, average, and lowest, and you can start to identify, oh, I think we've got a problem. And I don't mean like we have a problem. I mean like we found a problem. Drop in aha if you're like, this is clicking for me. Dina, you're so nice, and you give this away. You're awesome. Side note, another thing that validated my reason for kind of trying out a more like chill approach to training something that feels heavy normally, heavy or hypey, one of those two, is one of the members of Click was like, they sent me a message and they said, I really wish that people could see how like chill you are in our trainings. Like we do it every Monday. Like I wish we could see, everyone could see that. They're like, it would be totally different. So I was like, that's cool. Let's try it. Okay. So boom. And that's just one small portion of content creation or content strategy, which I think is kind of fun. Okay. Who here's like, oh my gosh. Who here wants to workshop that? Go find at least one problem that you potentially could solve. Who's going to do it manual? I don't have an affiliate link. I'm not like a good affiliate most of the time for anything. All right, manual. And who's going to do it with Answer the Public just to get you started, or even you might find it there. Either way works, totally. All right, I want you guys to go ahead and share in the chat once you've got a problem for the people you want to serve. Cool? Yay. Go ahead and drop done in the chat once you've got it. I'll give you guys 3 minutes. If you need more, I'll give you a couple more. How do I go from the tree to the wheel? Oh, okay. Sorry, let me show you that real fast. So here's the option underneath the search for wheels. You can do list. I usually switch to a list because I don't love reading like this as I'm like reading something. So I do that. LinkedIn's a great place. Anywhere that people congregate and talk is a great place to learn about how humans are thinking and feeling. That makes me sound like an alien, but how other people are feeling. And then one thing I do when I'm doing a lot of research, I like to sometimes see things in a sheet, like not on a site. So you can download all of these as CSVs and compile them, and then feel free to do manual or AI analysis on patterns, trends, and patterns. Sorry, and problems. Cool. All right. Let me know when you guys are done. While everyone's working, I'll answer a few questions as we go. Um, Okay, so how to date after divorce in a way that doesn't suck. I just worry it may be too big of a problem. Okay, so if that's your subtopic, then you could break off one specific question as a piece of it. For example, what do I wear? Oh, if you back it up 1 second, people who are dating after divorce are asking the same questions as the first go round because it's all new again. Does that make sense? So you can add after divorce to any question. What do I wear on a date as a divorcee? Or how do I find singles that don't suck after divorce? So just add those taglines to it after, and then boom, you've got the problem. It's the same problems. There's just added like fear and learning and growth and development. Cool. And then I want to answer this question too. If no results were found, drop the keyword you used, Christopher, the keywords, and then I'll help you find one that's more broad that is able to get results. Ooh, I love this. Beautiful. You guys are getting problems, right? What to wear for engagement photos. Yes, this is beautiful. Early career therapist feeling insecure and self-doubt. Amazing. Yes. What if we can't decide on a topic? If you do not decide, you are deciding that nothing will happen. So sometimes you hit a point where you just need to pick something and move forward. That won't necessarily be what you end up with, but there are so many times where I haven't been able to decide on something and I just have to pick. I just got to pick one and go for it, even if it doesn't perfectly align all the time. Because truth be told, we as humans are very, very multi-passionate. Like we're not in one box. Okay, let me see what Christopher's question was. Um, Christopher, what's your subtopic? I want to see this one because that one is like a whole sentence. These are good. Cat photography. So I would, that feels like more of a, I'm going to give you guys an alternate too for ones that are a little more specific. Cool. All right, let me get this pulled up. Google. This is one of my favorite ways to learn. And you don't have to worry too much about the search volume, which is kind of nice. Okay, so cat photos are blurry. So I would search for the question, and then I would go into Google and then go to this section called People Also Ask. And the ones that you like, you do this. You expand and contract it. And suddenly you have tons more questions that pop up. kind of like the original search. Drop aha in the chat if you love this. Yes, please. And this one's free, which is awesome. It just produces results differently. So that can be helpful for more specifics. Or you can go into cat photography Reddit threads and be like, I'm going to stalk the comments and see what people's biggest complaints are, even if they aren't questions, they're more of statements. Cool. Okay, let's keep on going. If you scroll down when you do a Google search, you can see it. There's a people also ask section. If you don't have it available, you can have someone else search for you, which is awesome. Okay, so we did a similar process to this, and I just wanted to share that this works for a lot of different industries. Cool. You're probably noticing I'm answering questions outside of the marketing space because we have a lot of people outside of marketing today, which is super fun. Leah, Dr. Gina, and Naomi created their passive income products following these methodologies of taking a problem and meeting the need. So, for example, if the question is, how do I get unstuck? The Yes Journal is a great fit because it trains you, helps you, challenges you to say yes to things. If you're struggling, like, where do I even get started on my fertility journey? We've got Dr. Gina, and she shares your nutrients tracker, your excellence guide, and fertility feast planner meal map get started guide. Pretty cool, right? Naomi is an author, blogger, extraordinary ghost writer. She's incredible. And she knew that authors were struggling with blogging, and it's something they kind of need to do. So she created a template pack. Their problem is, how do I blog as an author? Like, how long should they be? What should they look like? Are there examples of what author blogs can be? I need inspiration. So she created the author's blogging template pack. Cool. All right. Who's getting the ahas today? Who's having fun? Side notes, I do have a shortcut and I'm not even going to try to hard pitch it on you. Cool? But does anyone want to at least know what the option is? It's going to literally be the chillest thing ever. And Teresa, you're already there. Okay. So we're working through this inside of Click over the next 8 weeks on Mondays. And that's me actually leading the calls. So that's my group coaching program. This program used to be 12,000 per year, and then we found a way to make it literally 97 bucks a month. Is it easy? No. Do you know why I share that? I share that because easy and simple are not the same things. I think of easy as something like laying on the couch. It takes no overcoming of resistance. Is it simple? Yes. So I'll drop this for you guys. We start Monday. Click is all geared up and excited for this. This works for, oh, Tom's here. Hi, Tom. So feel free to just jump on in. So, okay, let's keep on going. Told you no hard pitch. Let's just have some fun. Basically, what I will do, by the way, is I'm going to give you all of the templates, the plug and play. I'm going to be coaching you on your titles of your passive income offers, the tech setup, how to promote them, how to optimize all of your social to make your marketing ecosystem work in a more leveraged way. That's what we're going to be doing over 8 weeks. So I would love for you to join us. Okay, let's keep on going. Okay, so this is a massive myth that we have to discuss, and that is that lower priced offers devalue your worth. Drop aha in the chat if you're already like, I've heard this, and thank you for saying that that's not true. Question for you. Does anyone here have designer purses? And I'm talking like the really expensive ones that are 4, 5, 6 figures. Maybe it's from Hermes or Louis Vuitton or, okay, question for you. Who here has designer perfume from a high-end brand? Chanel, Louis, and some of you don't like it, and that's totally fine. Bulgari. I hope I'm saying that right. I've always wondered. Okay, so I have a question for you. Why do you think these designer brands created their perfumes? Do you know? I did, yay. I always question myself on that one. People buy their name, emotions, upsell to market, brand recognition. There's profit involved, even on low ticket offers. Dang, who's getting the aha? Because here's the thing, 84% of shoppers, you guys, 84%. I don't know about you. I am a candy bar at the checkout girl. I love getting a Three Musketeers when I'm heading out of any store because we make impulse purchases. They account for a substantial portion of overall retail sales, with estimates ranging from 40% to 70%. This is why when you go to Coach, for example, and you're like, I want to buy a purse, you get up to the cash register and they have charms, Coach charms, or Coach perfume, things that are just an impulse. They make everything feel nicer and they are profit machines. Who's getting it? Who's getting it? Because this is the economy equalizer, the lipstick effect. Throughout history, whenever there is a downturn or a recession, people indulge in little luxuries, and it looks different for all of us. And these little luxuries can keep companies afloat. That includes your company. Who needs that aha today? It might be books. It might be a nice coffee, but maybe it's not as fancy with as many add-ins. It might be, I feel really good with nail polish or a manicure, but not with extensions because they're too grand. Can you guys think of any others? Who here's like, I need this in my business ASAP? That is the offer suite paradox. It is fascinating. Okay, I've worked with some really cool clients. Right now, my rates for one-on-one clients, I'm only doing 3 a year right now, and I've been loving that pace. But my clients pay me a minimum of 100,000 per year. It's usually like 15,000 to 24,000 per month, and there's a lot that comes with that. Um, every single client that has ever hired me purchased at those high ticket prices, purchased a low ticket offer first. Who needed that aha today? Every single one, they would buy like a tiny little TikTok bundle or my ad swipes or one of my little micro offers. And I was like, why would you buy that when your business is at 7, 8, 9 figures, right? That doesn't make any sense. But truth be told, most people want to see what you offer at a low ticket price before they're ever willing to invest into something higher ticket or more one-on-one. Who says this is going to make a difference for me? I would never buy an $18 jar of honey, but I'm a very thrifty person, like just going to be super honest. I would never buy an $18 jar of honey from Costco. But the second I walk in to Costco, which is our bulk grocery store, and they're like, we've got this little cracker and there's goat cheese on it and this incredible honey that comes from the wildflower. I'm like, ooh, let me try a sample. And suddenly I can't imagine that snack with anything but the $18 honey. Drop a ha if this is big for you. Are you guys still here? Are you still doing good? Are you still excited? Are you taking notes? Are you mapping it out? Are you having fun? Beautiful. Sample size is good. You've got it. So we're going to dive on in to your marketing ecosystem because it is an invisible network of spider web connections and it is good. All right, let's do this, guys. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, so right now you currently have some type of offer. True. It might help that I'm neurodivergent. I think that helps. So you've got some type of one-on-one or a program or something that is an offer here. Okay. If you don't have it built out, that's okay. I would actually probably start from this side of things and then work your way this way. So you build up know, like, and trust, and then move into this down the road. Cool. Okay. So you've got this already. Fantastic. And you've got, say yes or no. I'll map out a full ecosystem, fully optimized. You've got an awesome lead magnet. You've got an awesome lead magnet. You've got an awesome lead magnet. Do you all have awesome lead magnets? Whoo! Yay! Some of you have room to grow there. It's so exciting. But okay, what happens as you're naturally building on social, right? What platforms are you most active on right now? Is it like Facebook? Is it, we've got TikTok, we've got YouTube, we've got Facebook, we've got IG, we've got Reddit, we've got Threads, we've got X. Okay, so this is close to most people's existing ecosystem. It's actually probably more like this. They have like one platform or two platforms that they're on for their business, and then they have some type of offer, and it's book a call, fill in an application, something like that. True? Is this close, more or less? So, what happens when we have tripwires is we create new entry points to engagement, even if people aren't yet ready for your high ticket offer. I have seen over the years, it takes people on average 1 to 3 years to commit to something high ticket or expensive or value or luxury or one-on-one. So it's not an immediate thing. It can happen that way, but most of the time there's a delayed gratification here. And believe it or not, your tripwires, those passive income products, PIPs, can be doing a lot of the building of know, like, and trust for you and expedite the process to here. I have a question for you, and I need all hands on deck for this, okay? Who's like, this is hard to not like take action as we're going. Are you guys getting excited? Okay, so I have a question for you. If I were to offer you, let's say back in the day when my group coaching program was 12,000 per year, it was actually at the height of its growth when I literally dropped the price to 997 per year for group coaching and I stepped back in. Most people do the opposite, but I was just like, I'm just going to trust my intuition on this and I know I'm supposed to, and that's the right price for it. But okay, so imagine I literally was like, I've got a program that meets all your needs. It's just 12K per year, and you're pretty new to me. Is it an easy yes, or is it a I'm not sure? I need time. Go ahead and share your answer in the chat. It's a difficult yes. It's a hard, not sure. Not sure comes up a lot. Right. So even if we hopped on a call, you'd be like, I don't know about this, right? Anyone feel like that feels PIP is just passive income product? Um, anyone feel like that's what's happening in the space of like business and marketing and coaching and leadership is everyone's pushing their high ticket and we're all like, I'm not sure. It just feels like this feels like mom and dad are fighting over me in the divorce again. Do you know what I mean? So it's fascinating because I'm going to frame this differently. If I were to create for you a passive income product, right? And it was, let's say, a proposal that is top converting and it allows you to increase your conversions and have clarity around your proposal and the boundaries and everything included with it. And it was only $19. Is that an easier yes for you? Answer in the chat. Do you see the difference? So now I have a question for you. Pretend you're a freelancer for a moment and you purchase my passive income product. You don't know it's a passive income product, but it's 19 bucks. It's a top converting proposal. And the next two clients you send it to say yes and yes, but in 3 months. Now, what does the 12K mentorship feel like? When I met your need, does it feel easier? Drop a yes or a no in the chat. Is there a little less risk? Is there a little more know, like, and trust? It doesn't perfectly take care of everything because that's not the reality of life. But do you guys see how this bridges into your ecosystem differently? What if that first client was 2,500 a month? And I'm sharing numbers that have actually happened, which is kind of fun. If that client was 2,500 a month, does this all become easier? Who's realizing this? Isn't this kind of cool? So, passive income products allow you to connect with people, build know, like, and trust. And the most important thing in this entire equation, are you ready for it? Meet the needs, solve a problem, help someone. Drop aha in the chat. All it has to do is meet a need, solve a problem, and help that person feel like this actually worked. This was really helpful. Isn't that kind of cool? Meg, hi. Okay, now, of course, this can get really, really cool. For example, who here has ever opted in to one of my freebies? Not this one. This one I intentionally didn't put a passive income product on the back end of. Okay, so you'll always notice on almost every one of my lead magnets, and I do have, I think it's 54 freebies, 54 lead magnets currently in use. Almost all of them have a passive income product. So after people opt in, I share, hey, did you also have this need? And I can help you with this. Kind of cool, right? So everything bridges with the link in bio or ManyChat or some way of getting people to either my passive income product or my lead magnets that also contain my passive income products. Okay, so this can go directly there. It can go there. It can go there. It can go there. Now, when we vary the price points too, this allows people to determine, is this for me or not for me? Is this the right timing or not right now? And it also allows people who are more price conscious to decide what fits best to meet their needs best in this season. Anyone love that concept? Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so when it comes to a passive income product, we're going to brainstorm how to create them really, really efficiently. Cool? Let's do it. Any questions? LIB is just link in bio. It's link in bio or ManyChat, something that basically is bridging people to where you want to take them from social. And it works on two platforms currently. It's beta testing on TikTok. And I did hear a rumor it's coming to YouTube too for the ManyChat integrations. Is your PIP on your thank you page or do you follow up with email? Both. Cool. All right. So here is what I want you to do. If you look at, you all have a specific problem, not you personally. You all have a problem you want to solve for your subtopic, right? If you don't, just pick one. Drop a yes if you're ready. Beautiful. Okay, so we've got a specific problem in mind within the subtopic, right? But there's a problem, right? What do I offer for free? What do I offer as a passive income product? What do I offer in paid programs? And Reese, I'll see you on Monday. Actually, I'll be in the group tomorrow. So that'll be so fun. Welcome to the fam. There's a few people here who are a part of Click, which is they're the best peeps. Okay, so this is interesting. Um, you can share as much as you want for free and still charge. Did you catch that? You can share as much as you want for free and still charge. And Reese, is it cool if I actually used what just happened as an example? Like I'm teaching, I'm not holding things back. I'm sharing everything with you guys. It's Taryn. Oh, hi. Okay, so you guys, are you noticing I'm literally going open palm and being like, I want to teach you all of this for free? Is anyone like, whoa? I want to remind you that some people always want more support. I'm one of those people. I love extra support. Share the backstory. I want to understand the psychology of this. I want more access. I want more time. I want more hand holding. I want more resources. Drop a yes if this makes sense. Or I want community. Or I just don't want to have to do it myself. Okay, so what's fascinating is I remember years ago, Gary V said we spoke at this event together. I've got such a funny backstory about that, not for today. So we spoke at this event together, and he said that people pay for organization. So you can give as much away for free as you want, and that always stuck with me. But I think there are other things that people pay for. They pay for closer access. They pay for close to the source or getting right next to the source or having wisdom and strategy on tap. People pay for people to do things for you. Um, there will always be a market for paying. For example, when I made these, I was like, I want to make them because I have a clear vision on them. And I saw a tutorial on how to create a different kind that was similar. But part of me still wanted to allow someone else to make it for me because I didn't want to do it all myself. I wanted the shortcut. Like if I had even bought, I sewed even the curtains themselves. If I had even bought the curtains and then designed those, I would have saved a lot of time. It would have been a shortcut. You can teach me everything for free and I can get inspired. However, sometimes we still want to be served, to connect, to get more access. So I'm just going to say, when it comes to freebies, okay, it is open palm. If something doesn't feel right to share, you don't have to. Anyone love this? So for example, I have some frameworks that took 6 years to build and they're super intense and they're 60,000 word frameworks with hundreds of data points that we extracted. And I'm like, I don't share that IP because that one's really close to my heart and I would be so sad to just pump that out into the world since it's one of our like really, really original frameworks. So open palm, cool. You decide what you don't want to share. Don't share something if it doesn't feel right. When it comes to passive income, and I want to talk about what Emily said, the paid parts, though, aren't as passive since it takes up your time. It does on the front end, but it doesn't need to moving forward because you're not delivering something where the deliverables take extra time to deliver. Does that make sense, Emily? So it's a sprint and then done. It's a build out once, done forever. I want to make sure Emily got that. Does it make sense though? Cool. Okay, beautiful. So for passive income, here's the rule of thumb. One problem. It solves one problem. If it solves more problems, that's over delivering. And you can, but you don't have to. But you do have to deliver on the problem and the promise of a solution. Drop an aha if you needed this. And then, of course, like our one-on-ones, our courses, our premium products, our big packages, that's going to vary. It might be more custom. Those might take a lot more work, but this is where this gets really powerful. Are you ready? There is a special group of people here today, specifically that are working with clients. Who is this? If you have, I'm going to come back to the over deliver. Reese, can you copy that just in case it gets too crazy in the chat? Because I want to make sure I don't miss it. Okay, if you have already worked with clients, you have already put in some legwork. You already have assets sitting in your drive. Go into one client's folder and look at the captions. Go into one client's folder and look at how you delivered the playbook. Go into one client's Canva project and you've got templates ready to be templatized. One day I heard, oh, I can't remember who it was. I think it was Brian Burt. He shared that he never will say yes to a paid, oh, it was Peng Joon. Anyone know Peng Joon? One of my longtime buddies in this space. He's so great, just so kind. He said he will not do a one-on-one client or a non-leveraged activity unless he can pull the assets from it afterwards and turn them into paid products. Drop an aha in the chat if you needed that today. So what's wild about working with clients is I'm willing to bet all of you, even if you don't work with clients, even if you're just dealing with vendors or authors or whoever you're working with, you have assets sitting in your drive that just need to be templatized. And I'm going to walk you through the process of templatizing those. Cool. That one's not on the slides. Slides dipped at 43 in. I think we're already done there. Let me double check. No, we've got 7 more slides. Then we lose them. Okay. So what I do is I'll go through all of a client's folder. Who has folders from projects, from clients, from summits, from talks, from speeches, from things that you've delivered on? Okay, beautiful. And I will literally copy all of those documents and put them all into a folder called Templatize This for Passive Income Products. Did you catch that? Templatize this for passive income products. The reason I do it in that way is so that they're ready for when I'm in just one of those chill modes, low energy modes. I've got a fever, I'm laying in bed, but I still want to be doing something. Templatize your assets. Drop aha in the chat if you needed this. Who's like, dude, I'm totally going to implement all of this. Beautiful. So what I want you to do is I want you to take 5 minutes and go through your folders. As you're doing that, we did this once, we did a click meetup in Minnesota, and I had them finding and searching for assets. It could be an email. It could be setting boundaries. It could be something that feels normal. It could be website copy. It could be who's getting it. I want every single time that you find something that can be turned into an asset, put in the chat asset. Cool. We did this with Click and it was a contest who could find the most assets in like, I think it was like 20 minutes. And one person literally ended up with 80 plus assets that she was able to then go and turn systematically into passive income products. If something's been published on a blog, it's just going to need some beefing up. We'll talk more about that in a moment. Cool. So drop asset each time you find an asset. Be obnoxious. Cool. All right. And then Dana, or not Dana, Reese. Let me see. Over deliver can be overwhelming for the end receiver and they don't apply. Yes, actually, most of the time. So I've actually lightened up on bonuses many times. So it's like, here's one cool bonus, or here's 4 that are directly related that will make this even better or are specialized for different situations. Cool. All right, go ahead and drop asset. We got 5 minutes, sorry, 4 minutes on the clock. I'll see you in 4. One more minute. Let's see what you can do. Holy moly. I'll share more examples for anyone who's going to take notes and for everyone. So, okay, when I say everything can become an asset, I mean it. you have a podcast recording where you delivered value, pop it into Otter AI, transcribe that puppy, have ChatGPT clean it up without summarizing or shortening it, and then turn that into a step-by-step guide. You probably have YouTube videos. You may have spoken at an event, ask for the recording. I always do. I actually texted my sister while I took that break and I said, Steph, I have an idea for a passive income product for you. She just submitted her notice to her boss for a really, really tough work situation. And it took her like 6 hours to write the letter. And I'm like, that's a passive income product. Yes, yes, Taryn, right? So, question for you guys, is there a lack of assets or do you actually have some? If you do not have some, this is your homework. I want you to literally go and walk around your block, walk around your kitchen, whatever. I want you to literally grab the voice memos on your phone and record yourself and either share a step-by-step tutorial or start talking out a framework that you've had, rant about something that people get wrong in your industry and what to do instead. Talk out a script for something and then templatize it. Drop an aha if, well, I almost just spilled my whole coffee. Drop an aha, is this live? um, if you have gotten at least something from today or more than you thought, feel free to share if that's the case already so far. Just scared myself with the amount of assets I have that can be templatized. See, you guys aren't lacking knowledge that you can share with the world by turning into passive income products. There's not a lack. You even have, most of you have assets ready to rock and roll. You can transcribe portions of coaching sessions if you want and clean up the transcript. So Otter AI and ChatGPT for those. This is pretty cool, isn't it? Oh my goodness, Angelica is already organizing assets. So there's two different ways to go about it, okay? So, and by the way, I don't know if you're noticing, I don't want to just tell you what to do and say like, follow me, trust me, Otter AI. I have a Minnesotan accent, so it's Otter. I think you say Otter, and I say Otter. Otter AI. Okay. Are you guys glad you're here on a random Thursday? Team Minnesota. Okay. So I will answer some of those questions, especially Kathleen's, because this is big. Okay, so that's one way to go about it, is to find assets and create passive income products. But what about the whole concept, right, of like specifically wanting to create assets and passive income products around the pain points and problems? Let's dive a little bit into that. I'm going to share you literally the fastest way to do that. We will talk about that for sure. There are so many questions you guys are asking that we'll get to, I promise. Okay, I do want to answer this one. And how to products don't have to be templates, but step-by-step guides and trainings, like those are all can count. Um, Kathleen asked, do you ever get self-doubt about if people would find it really helpful? Like, is it real knowledge? Oh, for sure. It's so subjective. We'll talk about that in pricing and I'll share experience. Do you guys want to hear the good, the bad, and the ugly of like assets and is it worth it? Because I'll share some stories I've never shared before. If you do. What kind of price? We'll get to price. Yes. Should the PIP promise at least a small transformation? It doesn't need to promise a transformation. It needs to promise that transformation is possible. So from um, from spending hours trying to design Instagram carousels to plug and play in minutes, that type of thing really, really helps. So it doesn't have to be make $1 million tomorrow. It can be from this to this. Or sometimes the market is so aware of the need that you don't even have to share the transformation. Does that make sense? But it always helps. It could even be your transformation and how the asset can be helpful. Like, I needed to quit a job and I was really nervous about telling my boss. And I spent 6 hours, 6 hours writing this letter. This is for my sister stuff. And it worked so well. It diffused the situation, etc. And so I put it together as a templatized resignation letter. Question for you guys, did that feel simple? Just like it's just this. It helped me and I think it can help you. Anyone love to know? You don't have to say this will make you $50 million. Yes. Okay. Let's get into this and then we'll talk about pricing and worth it and mindset. Okay, here we go. Da-da-da-da. Crazy simple. I'm a huge fan of simple. I don't like to overcomplicate anything that we can avoid overcomplicating. Okay, so we're going to go back to the problems because there's the discovery of assets. I could just tell you guys what to do, but instead I'd rather teach you how to see things. Does that make sense? One is like it's like not dictatorship, but one is just do as I say, and I don't love that. That's not how we operate. We're like collaboration. It needs to be amazing. But oh my gosh, I wanted you guys to see the assets that you have hiding, the assets that you can create, the abundance of knowledge and information you already have. Isn't that so cool? I didn't create a single new thing when I created the Alaska offer. Isn't that cool? Okay. Yes, 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 yes. All right. So the first thing is we've talked about the problem, right? What they're struggling with. Okay. So, the promise, what quick win or result do you help them get? This can literally be what the deliverable is. Instantly create a resume that has been proven to work, etc. It could be very, very simple. It could be create Instagram carousels in minutes. It can be bigger. My client optimized their bio using this format and framework and instantly saw 32% increase in profile views. Okay. So you can get as specific as possible, but it also can just be the deliverable is what provides the result of alleviating hard work. Okay. Packaging. What's the easiest way to deliver this and for people to consume it? So, a lot of times people overly focus on design of these, and you don't need to do that. Drop yes in the chat if you're like, please go on. Here's the good, the bad, and the ugly, and this does bridge into pricing really well. Okay, so I had a client that was paying us 12,000 a month, and it wasn't like a perfectly aligned client, but I was excited about the topic, and I won't reveal who it is. Um, so I sent over these incredible assets for them. Here's your truth bombs. Here's how to create the baseline of content, and I've got them all delivered for you and ready to rock and roll. I'll come back to that, Sabine, so copy it and then so we can paste it later. Okay, so we send all this over, and the client's like, you sent me just Google Docs. And I was like, yep. I love to communicate in Google Docs because then I can update them and dynamically you get the changes. You can add your comments and edit things, etc. It's collaborative. It's amazing. It's always current. And she was like, you could have at least designed it. Who's going to already guess where this is going? Okay. So then we worked with a client. We're actually working with two clients right now that we provided those same things for. Okay. Same exact things for. And I'm pulling up the stats from implementing that same thing. The first client didn't implement it. Okay. First client didn't because it wasn't designed, it wasn't pretty. Um, Second client with a big platform already implemented it and had 99.2% growth. That's almost 100% growth in impressions in 1 month just from that. Who's getting the aha? Same thing. Google Docs, collaborative. It doesn't matter what the design is if the gold is in there. Um, Client with a smaller account, amazing doctor, love her heart for people. 17% growth in followers without doing anything else. So, question for you. Is it worth it if it's not designed? It depends on the audience you want to reach. So you get to decide the level of design and production. I want to remind you that nice design can usually make people say, oh, this is nice. But it is the contents inside of your passive income products that are going to either create change for someone or not. Okay? Who needed that aha today? I personally don't love designing everything. If you have audiences like graphic designers and artists, you might need to because there's a standard. Kind of like when I was a hairstylist, they mandated that you had great hair and makeup every single day because you want to advertise that appropriately, apart from typos, right? I like typos though because they remind everyone it's human and not AI. Okay. So I do a lot in Google Docs and I do a lot inside of Google Sheets, even in my passive income products, as long as they deliver. Write this down and please drop aha if this is big for you. When you first launch a passive income product, it can start out as a Google Doc and then you can iterate it to make it more beautiful after it proves itself. Drop aha. Wait until people show interest, and then you can put some time and effort into it. Beautiful. I love this. Amazing. Okay. And now we're going to talk about price. Okay. Ooh, are you ready for this? If you can't let perfectionism go, it's okay. Does anyone need a 5 minute break before we go into math and numbers? I always have to like switch my mind to go into that mode. Anyone need to like stand, stretch? Amazing. How long does this go for? Up to another hour and 20 minutes, but we're making great time. You guys are taking action. Who's already gotten some things implemented? Power pose is asset all the time. Who's already feeling like this is actually possible? Isn't that kind of nice? The biggest thing I always remember is like, where was I at just a few years ago? Like I think about that and I was like, I'll just show up and give you guys what I wanted back then. That's pretty simple because I still love that. I love like frank value. I love um all of that. Okay, cool. We'll take 5 minutes and then we dive into price. Cool. So go stretch your legs, use the restroom. Belinda asked that again in a minute. Meg ask that again later, but also that will be really good on Monday. You know the drill. Okay, cool. 5 minutes, and then I'll see you guys. So get ready and have your notebooks ready and maybe a calculator or calculator app on your phone. So it's 1 p.m. on Central Time on Mondays. Sometimes we'll move it. I tend to engage in the group either early mornings before all the client stuff happens or evening as I'm like finishing out my days. So I'm actually leading the group, which is kind of cool. It's one of my favorite things to do. I love Click so much. Okay, cool. All right, sorry, I'm still talking. 5 minutes on the clock. Bye. While everyone's getting back, I'm going to go through and grab some questions I want to answer as we go. Feel free to post them, and I'll also answer some questions at the end. Okay, I want to get these. Does Zoom not let you copy and paste? I thought they used to from the chat. Maybe not from a webinar. What the heck? Okay, I'll just answer these. So for Bex, it says, I'm starting from absolute zero, trying to figure out what assets I have from life experience. So here's something that helps me. What do people come to you for? What do people ask you? That's really, really helpful. People have always come to me for like advice on how to get some eyeballs on something. That was kind of an early thing. How do I get this out to more people? Even before I was in marketing, I kind of was like, well, you got to get it where people's eyeballs already are. So that for me kind of made sense. And then I started doing hair in middle school. I cut all of the girls in my family's hair and coloring their hair. And then people would be like, can you do my hair for my wedding? And I'd be like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not a hairstylist, but yes. And then that led to hairstyling. Like it's just cool because the questions people ask you or the things that you nerd out about, those aren't accidents, you know? I love to remember that those aren't accidents. Many of those things are revealing hints and clues into that gut feeling you have about where you're supposed to go. Okay, let's see. I want to make sure I get these answered. Let's see. I love this. And just scared myself with the amount of assets that can be templatized. Uh, True. That's exciting, isn't it? There's no lack. Amy Johnson Crow says, so a passive income product could be a step by step, not just a fill in the blank template. Um, Yes, it can be a lot of different things. So it could be a series of like voice notes that coach, it could be a video training series, it could be a bundle of several different things, and we'll talk about it. And it truly is a work smarter, not harder moment, Doris. What I love about the way that we've systematized this is that it doesn't cut corners, but still works, if that makes sense, because it's coming from your IP. It's not coming from Chat GPT. This is coming from either things that you've created or the rants that you'll record, etc. So good. So good. Okay. I love that Bloom says, how did I not think of these things already, right? Okay, what else? Let's see. That was a good question. More about price points. Julie's in Minnesota. I love this. Okay, what kind of price point? We'll get to price point in just a minute. I've created so many things that have flopped. It's exhausting. Yep, that's pretty standard. Almost across the board. Okay, I think I'm getting these. My worry is always anyone can find this on YouTube. That will talk about why video is not always the solution that people want, which is kind of wild. Perfect. All right, so we're going to get into pricing and then we're going to get into, I'm pretty sure, formatting, and then we'll get into I don't know how to turn that off. I've tried so many times. And then we're going to get into marketing within your marketing ecosystem for it. Cool. All right, let's see what else. Here we go. You guys asked some good questions and you guys are getting some good work done. Belinda, is this the Belinda I know? I think it is. But even if it's not, what do I think about angel number pricing? I love it. I always love it. I am a huge fan of it. Angel numbers are like 1111 or 333 or even 33. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Patty, you're so cute. And then Meg, I feel like we should just dive into that Monday because then we can talk even further. Humble site, beautiful. Is Click mostly social media managers? Not even close. It started as that, and then it morphed into marketers, and then it morphed into all freelancers, and then it morphed into client-based businesses. And now, anyone in Click, if you're in Click, you can feel free to chime in. It's like anyone who wants an online business, even if they have a brick and mortar already. So that's been like the progression of Click. Like right now, we have tons of like doctors in the group. We have someone who's an expert gardener. We have, yeah, cool, cool, cool. Okay. The question about people wanting refunds and being unhappy. So, do you recommend no refunds on digital downloads and courses? I don't want to talk long about this, so I'm just going to say this this question in particular is fascinating because in the beginning I was like, no refunds, and I was like really stressed about that. And so when you offer no refunds and for whatever reason someone doesn't find value in it, they'll do a chargeback to get their money back. And it ends up becoming just something that puts PayPal or Stripe or your payment processor at risk. We learned that it was safer to offer a 7-day no holds barred guarantee on our passive income products. And then people just ask for refunds. And truth be told, if you refund cheerfully, most people don't have a continued issue. Does that make sense? So if you refund cheerfully, it works really, really well. And just know there's always going to be a group of people who try to get refunds on passive products. It's just standard, it happens all the time. But it's better to give a cheerful customer service touch point of a refund than deal with the aftermath of a chargeback. And then, yeah, we even have one product that was 7-day money back guarantee, and someone charged it back. Um, and we proved that we weren't unwilling to issue a refund. So the chargeback didn't work, but then we still issued the refund. And then, like, they filed a BBB complaint. It's so wild. So just know that stuff happens. That's like a normal part. There's always going to be refunds anytime you are selling anything. Even if you're selling $18 honey at Costco, refunds are a natural part of things. So just don't spend the money until you know that it's there to stay. I like the 7-day window because then we don't have to sit and hold on to money for potential refunds. And then if refund rates are really high, that's a sign that it's time to improve the deliverables. Okay. All right. Do, 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 do. How to templatize. Okay, so when you templatize, let's say I'm going to go through, let's say I'm actually going to use like this right here. So this might be my business's viral framework. I'm going to use this as just an example. Uh, let's see. I've done such a bad job, you guys, of like explaining what Click is. I need to revamp the marketing of it. Like every single time, I'm like, well, it's just like the place where I put my heart and soul for the people that are amazing and taking action. And they're like so great. And we have fun every week. I'm like, I don't know. How do you? Okay. So, how I would do that is literally you take out the parts that make it identifiable. So, and you bridge things. So, I would do like one, pick a topic. This is me turning my viral framework into a template. So, one, pick a topic and then an explanation. This is an umbrella for your brand, right? And then leave a spot for that. And I would cross out my answers here and I would say, pick 12 subtopics, and I would maybe share like examples of it once again with examples. So basically, you redact the information that is identifying or trademarked or specific to the voice of whoever it's about or for. Cool. And if you go through anything, you can just start to be like, oh, I just got to take that out. And once I take that out, I can replace it with either a Mad Libs plug and play style, like brackets. Like insert your subtopic here. Insert your specialty. Insert the audience you serve. That is how you templatize anything. You put placeholders. Cool? Okay. Can you explain what the difference is between a refund and the 7 day? There is no refund. It's just a 7 day refund guarantee. Isn't that cool? Okay, let's check it out. Are you all here and are you good? What platform do you use to create your template Google Docs? I'm going to share with you guys shortly the tools, but let's dive into pricing. And this is big. Let's math it. Cool? You guys like math? How do you market? We will talk about that. Okay, here we go. What is my point of view about affiliate marketing or getting people who follow you to promote your passive income product and get some form of commission from that? It can be amazing to study all of the FTC and SEC's regulations for affiliates and how they can market and how you can market because your affiliates can actually get you into trouble if they use verbiage that promises things like, I market these templates every month and I make 6 figures. You could be next. Here's the proven path. There are certain things that you got to be careful about with that because you can be liable for um, what your audience, sorry, what your affiliates say. What's my point of view on master resale rights? Um, Give me 1 second for pricing. They're not for me. I'm not against them. But I'm gonna say that I have yet to see master resale rights products. I've purchased many and seen many that actually delivered on the promise of the product, besides the ability to make money by selling the product. So the product becomes kind of empty. I'm not saying for that particular company, that's for like everyone who does reselling and white labeling. All I'm going to say is there are certain shortcuts that sometimes aren't worth it. Okay, cool. Oh man. Go into politics, they said. I'm just kidding. All right. So, what price makes it an easy yes? There's a fantastic book. I'm going to recommend this wholeheartedly. There's actually two that deal with pricing strategy. One is specifically about pricing strategy, one is about negotiations, and there's price strategy in it. The first book is Predictably Irrational by Dan Ariely. Predictably Irrational by Dan Ariely. It is very scientific, it's data-based, it's not an enjoyable read, but you will learn a lot. It really helped me to understand a lot of the psychology behind pricing and why stores price things the way that they do. And then the second book is Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. Had the pleasure of interviewing him for my YouTube channel, and it was so powerful. Um, what I learned from those books and experience has proved this is that there are certain numbers that make people say yes more based on lots and lots of data and studies. Odd numbers tend to do better than even numbers. Okay, I'm going to spit out some of these truths real fast, but the books are still worth the read because they explain it even more in depth. So, odd numbers tend to convert better, not tend. Odd numbers convert better for almost every single industry. Um, Specificity converts better. One time I sent one time I sent a proposal and it was like a clean 100,000 and the client was like instantly, where's the wiggle room? Can we bring this down? And they were just trained to negotiate because rounded numbers sound invented. So specificity is huge. The authors are Dan Ariely and Chris Voss. So specificity indicates that there's time and intention and thought that went into the process and the pricing and all of that. Sevens and nines at the end tend to convert better than any other number. That's why they're used. It's not because it's just this thing that marketers do. Marketers do it because it converts really well. And then something I'll test sometimes, I don't recommend this, is I'll test out like adding 50 cents to make it super specific. So I'll put like $24.50. And that specificity for us has increased conversions. Talk to your bookkeeper before you do this. Who got an aha from there? I know we're just getting back, so let me make sure. Are you guys still good? Are you here? Are you live? Are you excited? Are you about pricing? Whew. Okay, cool. Amazing. Okay, so when it comes to pricing, here's what I actually want you to do. This is going to be really, really intentional. Yes, we can have all this data and marketers saying like these are the price points, etc. Even numbers, I think, just tend to have more specificity because it's like, well, why wasn't it just zero? Or why wouldn't you round it up or down or whatever? So odd numbers tend to feel like an in between, so they feel specific. So, okay, I really, really, really like to imagine the people I like to work with. I love people. Anyone else? Most of the time. Sometimes I don't, but most of the time, I like people. So I want you to think of the people that you really enjoy working with, the people who just make everything worth it, right? Maybe you're thinking of a specific customer or a client. You don't have to create an avatar right now. This is just a process that we're going to do to get into the minds of our buyers. Okay, beautiful. So you've got an idea of something that they have an issue with, right? It's a pain point, it's a problem, etc. Do you maybe have the solution? Answer in the chat for me. Or will you have the solution in the next week, 2 months? Beautiful. I love this. I should be seeing 194 yeses. It's okay to say yes and commit and then follow through, even if you're like, I'm not certain yet. If you take the steps, go all in, you become certain along the journey. Beautiful. I love this. Fantastic. Okay. How many hours does your potential solution, even if you don't know what all the specifics are, how many hours of time does it save in research, trial, error for that person? Go ahead and answer it, put it in the chat. Beautiful. I love that a few of you are saying years. Preston, what's the problem for them? The blurry cat photos? Wouldn't that be years of frustration? Having blurry cat photos and being like, are you kidding me? Every time I go to a client's house to photograph their cat, I I need to learn how to fix this. Okay. There are ways to communicate it, but you don't always have to. Are you ready? Uh-huh. Okay. Beautiful. Andrea, did you just get here? I have good news and bad news. We're workshopping in real time. Actually, there's no bad news. We're workshopping in real time to go deeper today so people leave with more action steps, more clarity. Yes. Okay, ready. How much money, outright money, does it save them? You actually don't need to convey how much time this saves them. in your copy or marketing because that's called like defense marketing. You're convincing, you're trying to catch up and prove it. So it's a defensive energy. If anyone here has ever played sports, when you're trying to get someone to see how worthy it is, you are doing the client and customer tug of war with them. Don't do tug wars. Drop the rope, cross over to their line, go stand with them, listen to them, understand what they're asking, and then you won't have to convince them of anything when you offer the solution. Does that make sense? It's just, is this the right fit or not? You do not need to prove it. Okay, beautiful. Yes, yes, yes. If the answer is zero for that one too, that's okay. Maybe they've lost out on clients wanting to buy photographs. Maybe calculate just a number. You can have an educated guess on that for sure. Who's realizing these are really valuable, by the way? Okay, question for you. What about missed opportunities and potential? Are they getting, are there a lot that they're missing out on? Are they missing out on reach, passive income, right? Are they missing out on bigger client deals? Go ahead and take a moment and drop this in the chat and be sure to write it down too. So good. Yes. I don't know if you guys are reading all of these answers, but first we talked about the time you can save people. And for most of you, it was a lot. We're talking about the money you can save people. And we're talking about missed opportunities. This right here, I get actually really emotional on this as I'm reading these because I'm like, you guys, these things need to be in the world. People need this. If this is what they're losing and missing out on, these need to be there. Dang, right? What else? If you're already finished with that, I want you to take an educated guess. You don't have to know exactly, but approximately how much would you estimate your client or customer's hour is worth? Either what they charge hourly or a breakdown of their salary. What is their hour worth? Are they charging 3,500? Are they a millionaire? If so, that's 3,500 an hour. No, 3,500 a day. I lied. That would be 10 million. Like what is their hour worth? Go ahead and drop that in the chat for me. Now, this is going to sound dramatic, but this is important. I want you to go ahead. Actually, I want everyone to answer this first. How does your client or customer value their hour in terms of dollars, or what do they charge hourly or make hourly approximately? Mm. What is your client's hourly rate? 140, 500, 75, 25 to 50, 40. 60 to 120. Yep. It's still worth doing the money exercise for this one. Okay, now take that hourly rate and multiply it by the number of hours that you're saving them. If you put years, it's a lot. I'll give you guys 3 minutes and then drop it in the chat. How much can one simple passive income product save them if they implement from their time and money? You don't have to add everything up, but time is also money in a way. Okay. I'll give you guys 2 more minutes. Is it a lot? So, question for you, drop aha in the chat if you're realizing that value isn't just $27 for a Google Doc. Who's getting it? Right? Yes. Yes. Okay, so I have different modes, and I do want to share this with you guys. I have different modes of how I teach. I have these certain gears that I kind of slip into where I get super, super nerdy and teach super advanced techniques. Has anyone seen me do that before? I might have slipped it in a little bit here at times. Okay, so one time I gave this entire talk, and I was told the entire group is super advanced. They don't have time. They don't have time for basic information. I was like, oh, okay, let me do this. So I go in, I'm so proud. It's incredible. It's weaving in Eugene Schwartz's 5 layers of awareness, and it's weaving in the psychology, Jungian psychology, and how to use that to fuel your brand archetype in order to create sustainable content and then go viral and reach the masses. One of my favorite talks I've ever given. First feedback I get on that talk is one business owner who says, "This is too basic for me." Of course. I have that moment where I'm like, what? This doesn't even make any sense. Everyone else was like, my mind is absolutely blown. And I know for a fact that it is the 1% of the 1% of advanced trainings. Drop a ha in the chat if you see where I'm going with this. Not all content, not all offers, not everything that we teach is going to resonate with everyone at that time. For example, I won't say who, but I was in Russell Brunson's mastermind for years, and there's this person in that mastermind who is brilliant. And do you guys know that next level where you're like, what are you talking about? And they're talking about 600 data points on every single customer that are pulled at the register based on their purchases. They can tell you what size underwear people wear. And I'm like, this is over my head. So this person presents and he's teaching all this stuff, and he's working with like American Express, I think. He teaches it all, and the room is silent, even though this is a room of advanced marketers. And in that moment, I realized he's teaching something that is wickedly advanced, shouldn't even be allowed for the general population. And it just isn't the right fit for us. Sometimes it's just not going to be the right fit. Okay. Some people will see the value instantly, implement, love it, rave on you, spread the word, come back to you as a client, buy everything you offer. And some people just aren't going to resonate with you, your voice, your tone, the way you package things, your offer. Got it? Even your deliverables. Can you please write these 3 words in the chat? It's not personal. Who needed that one today? There are some people who hate me and they're like, she's so annoying. And I'm like, that's fine. I always have been. Does that make sense? I've always been a little extra in weird ways, okay? That's okay. I have some people who hate buy my products just so that they can tell me it sucks. That's okay. It's not personal. They're just cranky or can't stand me or and then take note of this. If more than 1% of people who purchase a product say this is not good or this is not quality or I want a refund, then I can start to say, okay, So 100 people purchased, three requested refunds. Let's reach out to those three and find out what we can improve. Does that make sense? Drop an aha in the chat. It's actually data. Every single big corporation that sells products they actually account for their refund rates. They plan for it. They have a standardized refund rate. And if something isn't working beyond that refund rate, they're probably going to stop selling that line. Kind of cool, right? So, what price makes it an easy yes? Is it question? Drop a yes if you feel like it's already easier to think of an easy yes, just based on the time, the money, the effort, the searching, the trial and error, the etc. Anyone love this? Yeah. Okay. So generally speaking, for a passive income product, you want to keep it, generally speaking, under 50 bucks. That's most industries, that's going to be your safest area because it's something where think through the psychology, the buyer's psychology, and what they're going through in that moment. Can I take you guys down that rabbit hole? Are you cool with that psychology of pricing? So I always love going back to like people's real experiences. And if I go back to me in that time of building and wanting to figure out this or that and buying low ticket products, um, what I would do is I would be like, how much can I spend before I have to tell my husband Paul that I bought another thing, right? Can I secretly buy it on PayPal? It's not that he says no, it's just that I've bought so many things that didn't work. So, what's something that I can spend where maybe my bookkeeper or accountant doesn't notice or care, or my husband doesn't ask anything about it, or drop an aha in the chat if this psychology makes sense. Know your person. Think through. Imagine them sitting at their computer or their phone and their buying experience. There's another one I like to do because I always have like a throwaway limit. Like I'll spend up to 30 bucks on an unknown, unproven, untested low ticket offer, which is their passive income offer. So I just think through, okay, what amount would someone impulsively say yes to? It doesn't trigger all of the objections that come in or come up for them. Carolyn, we're gonna do the workbook after because instead we're workshopping this in real time, which we weren't planning on doing. And then you guys ended up being so stinking awesome today, and I had this gut feeling about it, and that's what we started with. So you'll get the workbook afterwards, but feel free to workshop as we go. Um, and it's becoming more robust as we're going, which is awesome. No, you're so good. Okay, so I think of those things. What is something that doesn't provide too much resistance? It feels like a no-brainer. So ask yourself this question. I just answered that one. So um, ask yourself this question. If this did nothing, would they be devastated by losing the amount? Does that make sense? That one helps a lot. It will be after this one because we went deeper today, which is exactly where I wanted to go. Um, that's the first thing that I do. I always have throwaway amounts. I assume that most of the low ticket offers, unfortunately, I shared this with Click last week and this was big, and I want you to write this down too. For digital products, the bar is on the floor. Please write that down. The bar is on the floor. I shared that because it's true. I buy a lot of low ticket products and they're just terrible. And I'm like, I would never refer anyone to any of these paid products. And when I say terrible, I mean, there's nothing actionable. There's nothing I can implement. It's basically like the fluffiest of fluff. There's nothing like, oh, go do this, follow these steps, use this tool. There's nothing specific in it. There's no system, there's no workflow, there's no script, there's no template, etc. This is very common. And the biggest way that people are masking it right now is with video. Video does not equal value. Can we please preach this? Video does not equal value. You can waste people's time over 20 minutes and have them walk away, if they can't say, here's what I learned and here are my action steps, it's fluff. Cool? The second thing I say is if all this did was blank. If all this proposal did was blank, this passive income product, I'm using a proposal as the example. If all it did was this, would it be worth it? If the answer's yes, beautiful. You found a great sweet spot. Some industries and offers for passive income products can go up to 100, but they don't convert as well passively on the back end. Cool? Okay, so question for you. With all of those frames, all of those, what price point calls to you? Notice I say calls to you. Don't overthink it, just pop it on in. You can always adjust it later. Love it. Charlie, I love that data-driven results. I did a TikTok yesterday where it was like how I react to the different marketing posses coming into a business conference. And the last one, I wanted a reaction, but it cut off, was like analytics junkies. And at first I started it as data and KPI junkies, but I was like, a lot of people wouldn't know what that means. I love my data people. You guys, these look gorgeous. These look gorgeous. Oh, thanks, Andrea. Video does not automatically equal value. That's what I mean. Anyone need a little more on that? Video can be fantastic, but a lot of people know that video accommodates for a little more fluff, a little more in-betweens, a little more filler. And so a lot of people will turn what could have been like a 5-minute tutorial in a passive income product. Amy, don't do that. If you said 47, make it 47. Okay. A lot of people will just record like long videos just to overcompensate for a lack of actual substance in it. Yes. Yes. So just remember if you do video as a part of the deliverables, make sure that someone else could watch it and share their takeaways as well as action steps, even if you need to recap it. Cool? Okay, beautiful. If you are doubting the price points, okay, if you are doubting the price point, come up with a few more price points. Do you want to know why? Because different price points call to different people at different times. Did you catch that? Different price points call to different people at different times. So now I'm going to share with you something that is fascinating. Okay. You can have a 9, 17, a 27, a 47. And there's one common misconception in our space. I love the strategy of value ladders from Russell Brunson. Huge fan of it. And it doesn't apply to all of these low ticket offers. Are you ready to see the offer suite in action? So let's say you have this thing you want to get people to. This could be those one-on-ones. This could be a higher ticket program. This could be your done for you services. This could be, oh, here, sorry. I'm all small. There we go. This could be a premium offering. This could be a home redesign package. This is your biggest offer, okay? So if this is your biggest offer and you're able to identify, here are 4 different problems that people have before they're ready for this, where I can build trust and meet their needs in order to, well, not just in order, but also in order to establish know, like, and trust, then by the time you get to this, people are excited. So maybe you have a $9 a 17, a 27, a 49. Okay? All of these can lead to this beautifully. It can happen in the funnels, it can happen over email. Sometimes it happens from people straight up wanting you so bad after buying these. Yes. Carmen, read Predictably Irrational by Dan Ariely. So, this right here, these are opportunities for you to get people ready. Sometimes people will purchase these, okay? And they will straight up email you, 100% email you and be like, I want to work with you one-on-one. How do I do that? You don't always have to figure out how people are going to get from here to here in order for that transition to happen. Okay? Case in point. People, a lot of people think the more available you look, the more people want to work with you. Not true. Not true. People want to know that you're in demand. People like mystery, believe it or not. Have you ever met someone, don't say any names, have you ever met someone who was like too available in the dating game and it kind of like didn't pay off? It backfired? Drop a yes if you know what I'm talking about. I'll use dating as the example today. Anyone? Yes, for sure. I love it. So when I first met Paul, some of you might know the story, some of you might not. When I first met Paul, I knew I was meeting him. He didn't know he was meeting me. So I went up to him. I was like, I'm gonna totally just flirt with him. I'm so excited. So I was like, hey, can I plug my phone into the charger right there by you? And he was dressed in like scrubs. He had come straight from work, but I didn't know that. He was dressed in scrubs. His beard was overgrown. His hair was all scruffy. He doesn't even look up and he says, no, go find your own charger. And you want to know something? I married him 13 days later because I was so intrigued. I was like, I'm not used to like flirting with someone and them like not even looking up. It was so cool to me. I know that sounds weird, but like the fact that he wasn't mentally available for what I wanted in that particular moment, I found out why later. It's so funny, but literally, I was like, oh my gosh, he's like the forbidden fruit now. Like, hello. So sometimes it's okay if you don't know all of these. These can come later. Why? Because he's hot. No, he's also a bad boy. He doesn't conform to people's expectations of how he should be, which I love. He's cultured, he's self-educated in so many areas. He's wise. I could keep going, but I'm not going to because otherwise this will become like vow renewals. So yeah, and we literally eloped 13 days after meeting, and now we're coming up on 12 years of marriage. Okay, so do you guys want me to break this down, how the offer suite develops? If you don't love this one, if you're like, ooh, I feel nervous about this one, then start with this one or this one. Cool. So if I were a hairstylist, is that a good one? You all cool with that? If I were a hairstylist and my big package is extensions. Okay, these are 2 grand a pop. You get tipped like 400 bucks. It is amazing. I do miss doing extensions sometimes. Okay, so this one is 2 grand. Then I'm going to ask myself, what are some of the problems people have, right? Just like we were talking about in that subtopic of extensions. Okay, so if one major problem is their hair is too thin, I might be able to sell little clip-ins so they can test out just like one on that hair right here. Got it? And if lipstick not staying on is the problem, Wet n Wild, their liquid catsuit stays put all day, even through eating. This disappears in the middle if you eat, but only after 7 hours. It like I go to sleep with it on and have to take it off. It's incredible. Okay. Little thin hair clip-ins, okay? 9 bucks. Question for you. Can you see how this preps them for this? It's a test. It's an example. It's let's see if this meets your needs. You get to test how I listen. Are you guys all still here? Taking notes, having fun. Okay, let's say that their hair is breaking. Cool. I've got a fancy conditioning mask. You can put it on your ends once a week, slather it all over your hair when it's wet, and then watch your favorite show, binge The Bachelor, wash it out just once a week, and it restores the proteins so that this hair stays healthy as it's growing. Okay, cool. Let's say the client hates that their ponytail looks thin. Clip in pony. Okay, do you guys get it? Drop aha in the chat if this is making sense. Okay, before people start jumping off, I know we still have some more to go. Question for you. Can you write? And it can be as brutally honest as you want. I have 3 kids. I cook dinners from scratch. I get eviscerated half of the nights of the week because they don't like tomatoes tonight, and today they don't like ground beef, and now so and so likes steak. So I don't have thin skin anymore. Um, in one sentence, how would you describe how this training has been going? Your takeaways, the clarity. Even if you're like, Rachel, you suck and you're boring. I don't know why I'm still here. That's fine. But can you just share a sentence or a word or Cool, cool, cool. We're still going though. Cool. Yes. Oh my gosh. I love that. I'm worth money. I love the raw presentation. Lots of pages of notes. I'm gonna hug you. Oh my gosh. I love that. You guys have assets. This is so good. Yes. Oh my gosh. See, I really wish someone had done this before my Alaska trip because I was just guessing and flying by the seat of my pants, and it was really, really scary. I was so scared when I hit launch in Alaska. I'm just going to be honest. Like, I didn't know if what I was doing was going to work. I had seen people talk about this like elusive passive income and stuff, but I was like, can this work for me? Just, oh, I'm totally going to cry. No, I'm not. A girl from Minnesota. So, thanks, guys. I love that. Let's see. We only have, I think, 3 more slides. I'm going to share just my favorite tools and formats, and then we're going to talk about marketing because that's a whole other, uh, it's a whole topic, but I'm going to go rapid fire style. Cool. We'll be going super in depth into promotion for 2 weeks in the social click. Last time we did an affordable offer, which was like just a low ticket offer accelerator, and 30 plus people finished within the time of the accelerator inside of Click. It was so great. And then um, they got everything done from the products to the funnels to the emails with my templates to the deliverables. And then we promoted 25 of them to my list, and it was really cool. So, okay. I love this, you guys. So cool. I can teach you how to build a funnel, but I'm slower than I used to be. I used to be able to build a full funnel and the email sequences and everything. That's what we're doing in Click the next 8 weeks. Isn't that so fun? So literally we go super in depth. It's anywhere from 1 to 3 hours on Mondays. There's always a replay with recaps, notes, templates, everything. So we're going to be sprinting as a Click for the next 8 weeks. And some people might end with multiple passive income offers ready in their offer suite. Okay, so I'm just going to share some of this a little more rapid fire style because we are covering a lot today. And I know you can handle it, which is awesome. So I always default to templates and swipe files. So swipe files are my favorite. It's where I'll change out the details in something from mine or a client's to kind of a placeholder. And then I share the actual swipe file, like this is what I used, and here's how it performed. And then I'll templatize it to make it like Mad Libs, kind of like where you plug in the word. It's like choose an animal, choose a vegetable, and then you go back to the story, insert your Mad Libs words, and then see how the story comes together. That I do that with templates a lot. They're usually Google Docs. For the most part, we don't get much pushback, which is awesome. It's like, I think it's like 0.3% pushback, aka refunds. People haven't always loved that. but it's very low resistance, very, very low. So I keep it there so that I can make updates. And then as I make updates, I let people know. I also love step-by-step guides. Write down this examples. Examples are worth their weight in gold. Everybody loves examples. I love seeing examples for different industries so that I can see the commonality and patterns in the frameworks and psychology or the differences. So I'm a huge fan of that. Do you only use one funnel platform or can we learn with any platform? I am currently in a funnel migration. So I teach ClickFunnels and Go High Level. And I have been known to create some templates for Flowdesk. What else did we do? I think we did 5 different funnel software last time. Yeah, I think there will be like 3 to 5 different platforms, just the most common ones, which are kind of fun. So, okay, let's go, let's go. So, I love swipe banks of real examples. I love sharing swipe banks and then literally, yeah, that's quick. Literally, I love explaining things like here's what you'll see in those swipe files. Here's how to interpret it. Does that make sense? It's like, has anyone ever done any scientific research? We've had a few doctors on today. If you do scientific research, a lot of people are like, I want to see the raw results. And it's like, with all the love in the world, no, you don't, because the average person doesn't know how to read scientific data. Just like most people don't know how to read through a swipe file. I'll say it one more time, guys. Swipe file is screenshots or assets that were used, are proven, have worked before. Um, they're easy in marketing to explain. It's things like they're usually business related, but it's things like my email swipe file, my top performing emails, a swipe file of my nurturing emails that get lots of responses, my ads, my captions that generated the most responses, etc. Okay, easy to execute frameworks, templatized scripts, series of video trainings. Um, Our refund rates, you don't need to add workbooks or guides or PDFs to video trainings, but what I am going to share with you is what we have seen when we started adding those to complement the video trainings. Even if they're simple, our refund rates went down, which means most people were more people were mostly happy. So I'm like, okay, cool. So anyone get the aha from that? That's helpful. I personally like to read things. I hate watching things unless I'm in relax mode. I don't mind listening to things sometimes, but some people love watching things. So I always try to do multiple formats just to increase the perceived value. Write those 2 words down. Perceived value of what it is. So I'll do like a Google Sheet that's like a tracker or with examples, or I'll do a Google Doc, I'll do a PDF, a video training. Yeah, multiple formats for perceived value and also for ease of education and absorption of information. Yes. Okay. How are you guys doing? Good? Okay. This is big. You you're not selling everything. You don't have to crazy, crazy, crazy over deliver. In fact, some of you are too giving. In general, try not to add more than like 1 or 2 bonuses to your passive income products. Okay? Yes, exactly. That was one where I was like, this could all be video, but there's so much copy and paste and step by steps. I was like, most of this one should probably be written and then sprinkle in the video where it's needed to make it easier, etc. Okay, just because someone pays you $47 doesn't mean you need to fly to their house and give them a back rub. Okay? Everyone hear me on that. you're just selling a shortcutted solution to one pain point. It doesn't need to solve all their problems, including the tension in their lower back. Like, it is just what it is. It's not more. It's not going to make you 50 bajillion dollars. It's just going to help you with proposals, and it might convert better than your last one. Got it? Who needs that aha because you care way too much? And you're like, I want to over deliver. I want to impress everyone. I want to make this incredible. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, beautiful. We are at the end of the slides. These are my tools. All right. Google Docs, Google Sheets, Canva, recording on either Zoom or ScreenFlow. ScreenFlow is just the one I like to film in. It's kind of like iMovie or Camtasia or whatever. I know the feeling. And at some point, you have to be like, it's good enough because it will never be perfect enough. I also use a lot of Google Drive folders so that I can add new bonuses and be like, I just added new bonuses, or I revamped this offer, or we fixed that hole in that offer that someone identified, or whatever. So I am a huge fan of that. Okay. So Google Drive folders. Um, I use a lot of voice memos on my phone. ScreenFlow is kind of complicated, like Camtasia. Yeah, that one, I probably wouldn't use it another year. Okay, I use Otter AI religiously to transcribe all of my videos and audios and rants. I use ChatGPT to clean up my transcripts and speed up the process of extracting my formulas and frameworks that I've already spoken out in my IP on my voice memo rants. That's it. Drop a hot in the chat. Did you notice almost all of those are free or cheap? They're all actually at least cheap. Yeah. Anyone love that? Amazing. Um, I use ChatGPT. I like it better than Claude because of how I use it. Okay. So for sales pages, I use ClickFunnels and Go High Level. Otter AI is a transcription service. I use ClickFunnels or Go High Level. Our short form sales pages right now for passive products are performing the best. Do you guys want a link to one of those so you can see it? Okay, let me get one pulled up. So we do these things. Does anyone here know like copywriters like Jim Edwards? I have a story about this one and we'll get into it. And then we'll talk marketing, but that is a whole other topic. We're just going to broach the subject today. So, one day I was seated next to Jim Edwards at a dinner. It was at like some award ceremony thing. And you guys, I lost my mind. I don't normally do that. I don't do that with celebrities or anyone. And I literally was like, "Hi, Jim. My name is Rachel Pedersen." And he was like so chill. And I was like shaking and I was being so silly. I don't know why. I just got really like fangirly and I don't normally get that way. And he's like, Rachel, I literally know who you are. And I was like, oh, okay. And then he was like, I heard you have a TikTok offer. And I was like, I do. This is actually wild. So I said, I don't, or he said, I want to see your sales page for it. And I was like, I don't want to show you because it's just an order form. And he was like, sometimes the less copy you can use to convert, the better. And that's when we immediately switched to this style. So I'll share this with you so you guys can take a peek at this. And then I'll share the link to it. So, oh, and by the way, with every single step of it, if you guys do want to jump in, oh, Tom's already gotcha. Cool. So this is fun. These are my million view reels. This is just one of one of my passive income products. And then I do have an upsell here. This one's built in ClickFunnels, and you will notice that there is as little as there needs to be here because I hate reading those long sales pages for every single offer. Like if I have to scroll like this several times, I'm like, I'm not buying a $19 offer for all of that. Like, anyone else feel like it just feels really, really thirsty? I know I just don't like it. I don't know why. As a buyer, I can't stand it. And as a marketer and business owner, I hate writing them. So I try to skip them as much as I can and put the order forms up as high as I can. I'm like, I'd rather talk about it and share like less on the page and be less of a barrier. So this one is here. Oh, it's also not letting me paste that. Okay. Tom, if you're still here, can you share our million view reels link? Because I think it's helpful for everyone to see. So very, very simple. I haven't made any announcements about like my funnel stuff yet. So I'm just going to say we'll see what happens. That's all. Okay. So let's talk for a moment about marketing. Who here knows I'm like, oh man, do we have 6 more hours? Whew, y'all are fun. Okay. Um, when it comes to marketing, there are 3 phases in a business, and I always go through this, okay? So we've got phase one, which is build your audience. That includes your impressions, your views, your followers. We're going to see if Tom can pull it up because for some reason it's literally not letting me paste. Oh, now it is. Oh, okay. Just kidding. There you go. Okay. So this includes views, reach, interactions, engagements, followers, clicks, comments, shares, likes, saves. This is all social, etc. That's it. Okay. Um, Using Substack as a lead magnet, I'm sure it could be done. I don't personally see the path because I don't know it well enough, but if you can see how it can be done, you can use it as long as you get the emails. Okay, 2 is build your list. Okay, you can always send passive income offers if they're appropriate for the topic of your emails and generate sales as you build your list. Okay. And this is your email list specifically. We're not going to talk on text because heavy, heavy regulations are on the horizon. And build and sell your offers. Anyone love this? This is it. This repeat, 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 repeat. There is a fourth and a fifth level, which is when you're in scale mode, scale and optimization, but those don't even come into play for a while. So, truth be told, oh, I can't answer that with one question. Can someone at least drop a laughing crying emoji because you know the tension I'm feeling of knowing I still have a client call today and being like, I can't do the whole thing. Ah, I want to. I'm like, but there's so much to this. Okay. For building your audience, as you build your audience, as you build your list, as you build your audience, your list will build if you have freebies in the links in your bio. Did you catch that? Links in your bio, uh, on your website. If all your social is fully optimized, your highlights, your stories, your areas on like LinkedIn, your bio where it allows for a link, you will be amazed when you build out these 2 things. Okay, I'm trying to do that without looking. That's hard. If you build out these two things and have the lead magnets, which we won't focus on today, but your offers fully optimized across social in the links in your bio, in the copy where it's clickable, in the comments beneath your pinned photos on social, in the bio of your YouTube videos, like absolutely everywhere. And there's a ton more opportunities for places to optimize it for than you even realize. If you just focus on this as these two are happening, these two are built, you will be amazed by how many people will actually opt into your emails as long as the lead magnets are juicy, not the topic for today. But people will naturally get curious and you won't even realize, oh my gosh, I got a sale until the Stripe notification comes through. And that's where it becomes passive. My very first passive income offer. Do you guys want to hear it? Um, I never marketed it at first. So it was, here is how to go viral. And it was a worksheet. And it walked people through like the psychographics of going viral and controversy and how to maximize the chances of going viral. It was $9. And then I didn't market it because I was scared. And keep in mind, this was 10 years ago, I think. Yeah, like around 10 years ago. So I just put it in the links in my bio and on my highlights, and I just put it everywhere across all of my social. And then I just focused on putting out content. Drop a yes if you're like, I'm listening still, Rachel. Okay. So I built my audience through short form video, long form video, short form text, and long form text. I just posted consistently once, twice, three times a day, whatever I had the capacity for, as often as I could. I shared the four V's. Keep in mind, this is rapid fire version. Okay. I I followed the four V's, which are one is value. Keep in mind also, we all can have different ratios of how much of this we tap into and use. So value, vulnerability. Drop a yes if you appreciate like the authenticity of vulnerability and you're like, that helps me know this is someone that I can learn from because they're not hiding all of their imperfections. It's pretty important. Like if I go to someone like a hairstylist and they always look absolutely perfect and act perfect, I feel like I'm just going to be a mess. I'm literally going to be sitting and my hair is going to be processing and I'm going to dump a coffee down my shirt and it's going to be all over the floor and they're going to be like, what an idiot who spills, right? So it's okay to show vulnerability. Okay. Variety. This is stuff outside of your business. It can be adjacent, like time management skill or run into walls. I've done that a lot. So does our red dog for some reason. He always runs into the walls. Um, and then with variety, you can share things like adjacent to your business. So for me, it's like books that I love. It's time management. It's not directly related. It's balancing motherhood. It's morning routines. It's things like that. These are the four V's. This is one of my favorite teachings. And then if you want to go and have some fun, you can do viral or trend-based content. And this is where I actually do these a lot because this is where people first are exposed to like who I am, even if it's super cringy and super stupid. But people are like, that's funny, or oh, that made me like feel something. So if they follow me for that and then they see the value, they're like, oh, I didn't realize she was also smart. She seemed pretty stupid in that viral video, but it was a skit. Okay, you guys get it, right? These are the four V's. All right. So I produce short form video, long form video, short form text, and long form text content. Who's done the content machine? Please tell me you have. Please tell me you have. That is my new favorite one. That one's so fun. The baseline content. So, for long form text, it's things like blogs and emails. And I do a lot of like long form posts mostly on my Facebook profile. And I love sharing long form text and like seeing, can I connect with people over long form, even though everyone says long form's dead? It's not dead, right? So long form is just It's just long text, long posts, etc. Yeah. Mine do well if I do some of those. I do have to use all four of these. And then my emails, um, the long form emails are full of kind of a little bit of all. I mostly do value in email because it feels like such a direct connection to people that I want to respect being in their inbox and try to have every single email have something of value, if that makes sense. And that really helps me out there. And I think it helps people too. So I'm a big believer in this. Pick a platform, one platform, whatever amount of pieces of content you are posting per day, just add one more. That is how you build an audience. It's not about direct response. It's not about knowing how to sell them into a passive income product because that's active selling or leveraged. Instead, what you do is get more consistent, add a little more volume, a more intentional strategy that I guess kind of handles all of the psychological principles in human behavior. And I think that's all I'm going to say on that for now. You can also put your passive income offers in your emails to your list. Oh, one more post per day, not one more platform. That's too much for today. An example of short form text. Who sees my threads? My threads are automated. They're actual quotes I said over the years, and we compiled 1,400 of them. And it just goes out automated all the time. It's just these little like quotes. I call them truth bombs. One or two lines. They're quippy, they're short, they're polarizing, they're strong stances on things, or they're inspiring, etc. So, the truth of the matter is build the passive income offer, put it everywhere, put it in your email signature, put it on your website, put it on your highlights on your IG stories, put it in an IG story. That one won't live long. You can feel free to put it in posts and advertise it, but it's going to be the most powerful to get it done because now you can passively attract clicks and even sales. Okay, any questions? I actually love that we've been answering questions as we've been going, which is so fun. Okay, how do you pick just one if you have multiple different assets in different categories? Systematically go through one at a time. Like go through and do all of them. Just put them into a list and work down the list. And in time, they'll all be passive income products. How do you pick just one if you have multiple different assets in different categories? Um, I already answered that one, sorry. What are you using to automate? I use Metricool. So they were my client. Based in Spain. They're like the nicest, kindest team ever. The founder is so kind, so down to earth. And my job was to bring them to the US, and it's worked pretty dang well. They've grown a lot. So they're here in the US now. And they deserve it because they are so responsive and they care so much, which I really, really appreciate. Real fast, we will be continuing this convo Monday. So I know I'll see a couple of you guys. I'm really excited. And we're going to dive in, deep dive, accelerator style. I'm so excited about this. Let's see, it's metric cool. It's like metric ool. Beautiful. Thanks, Preston. We'll send out a replay for sure. I'm just going to turn this into a workbook based on what we ended up talking about. This is that Wet n Wild liquid cat suit that stays put almost perfectly for 12 hours. Okay, what else? What else? What other questions do you guys have? Jensen! Woohoo! Let's have some fun. Let's have some fun. Is anyone who was previously before this in Click on right now? Does Metricool also post unscheduled posts for you? It's a scheduler, so yeah. Oh, a few of you guys. Oh, I know you guys. Question for you. Because do you guys remember that call when you were all kind of like, yeah, we do wish that people could see how you are on the calls? Do you guys remember that one? There was like, it was a while ago. Um, I feel like this training was more like a click call than any other training I've ever done, which is so fun. Wait, which Molly is that? Core or Rose? And Lisa and Teresa and so many good people. Molly Rose. Click is recorded as well, always recorded, and my amazing team member creates like a recap of every call so you can get all the links and important combos and like a recap. And they're all always ready within, she usually does 1 to 3 business days. Sometimes she's faster though. Yeah. Cool, cool. Cool, cool. Emily. Get out. Why did I not see that growth yet? You should post that in the group so everyone's inspired because that's incredible. Pricing angel numbers should be odd numbers, also correct. 33 instead of 22. If you're doing angel numbers, follow what aligns best based on the angel numbers. I do sometimes certain posts and emails, I'll schedule them at angel number times over anything else just based on a gut feeling, which is kind of funny. So, if you join Click, can you see all past sessions? Yes, but you would never be able to finish them. I think it goes back 5 years. I think we have 5 years worth. The stuff from before that, I'm pretty sure I deleted it because I was new to being a mentor and I was like, some of this doesn't need to continue to exist because I've either learned better or I was pregnant and I like cried on a call. So I've grown a lot as like a mentor or leader. So we did delete the first 3 years worth, but trust me, I've re-recorded everything that we taught there better since then. Yes. I've been in for 3 years and I still haven't gone through all the trainings. There is so much in the portal that you sometimes just search for keywords because, and there's this keyword search, and we're currently migrating our platform to go high level, which I'm kind of excited about. So it's going to be better functionality, or at least that's always the hope, right? So you can search though right now for a keyword and then find all the trainings related to it, or you can post in the group and be like, hey, Rachel, what training should I watch for this? And I have them all memorized, and I'll be like, oh, go watch this one, and I'll drop you the link. So that actually happens a lot in Click. People will be like, which one should I watch for this? And I'm like, oh, I got it memorized. So, angel numbers like 1111, 333. Let's see, what else? What else? I use self-made and love it. I love that. Lisa, get out. Oh, hmm. I don't know why I'm like really emotional today. I just felt really like, do you know what I mean? I felt really in tuned with like this group or something. I don't know. You guys are special today. This is cool. I really like it. All right. Shall we call it for today? So I know that it's interesting because I will say, if you build, these are the 3 things that universally you can do every single day. And it's never the wrong move. These 3 things right here. If you build this first, then from day one, you always have an opening for passive income sales. Does that make sense? So if you build this first, set it, and then forget it, and then go backwards, and then just start building your audience, there's something that they can purchase. There's a way that you can serve a need beyond just free things, which is pretty cool. All right, I'm going to let you guys go. I have to hop on a client call shortly, so we should do another one soon. What do you guys think? New topic? Let's do it. All right. And Click members, I'll see you Monday. Cannot wait. Bye, everyone.